Did you ever play past the junior varsity level of basketball?
Well, I got asked to leave the varsity team. So, yes, I did play varsity basketball, but I got asked to leave.
And why did you get asked to leave?
Creative differences with the coach.
And what kind of creative differences?
He thought that I was probably a little bit better at football, and they were like, we don't want to risk you getting hurt and taking your time, so we need to get you out to run track and play football. So they said it's probably the best thing for you.
DC ain't even make JVT. I love it.
I 100% did, and I was asked to leave. And, there's a lot of people out there that know why and that can stay. It's not something we need to dig up.
It was fighting was involved, if I'm not mistaken, correct? You beat somebody. Basically, you bullied somebody.
I was a lover, not a fighter, and I have the daughter to prove it, so
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is Brian Hanley. We are live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Welcome back to the show. Appreciate everybody being here, man. So we were just talking a little bit, just to get started. We were talking UConn and Iowa over on TikTok. Somebody said you could say that if Caitlin Clark wasn't on the team, would they make the tournament? No, but you could say that about any top team. I go, that's not true at all. I mean, that's not true, but whatever. We're already getting into it. People on TikTok, yesterday they were being crazy. We're already crazy today. I absolutely love it. Let's get into it. Again, as always, man, if you're on TikTok, please continue to tap the screen. 5,000 likes at least and 30 new follows. So if you're in here and you're not following, please give us a follow. We appreciate it. And please click that link in the bio. Come subscribe on YouTube. Big B Sports Talk on YouTube, man. The live is better. The content is better. You get more access to stuff over on YouTube. Shift your attention on over. Come on over. Check us on out, man. Let's get into this. Again, as always, if you appreciate what we do, you like the content, you like what we're doing, and you want to support the show, there's several different ways that you can do it. Obviously on TikTok, like, follow. There's a tip jar in my bio. There's also, you can send any gifts. Whatever you need to do, we appreciate it. Whatever you choose to do, we appreciate that. Same thing over on YouTube. We got super chats, subscribe, all of those things, whatever you want. Like, follow, share, all the good stuff. Let's get into the show today, man. So the first thing is Texans and Diggs. Maybe we should say Buffalo and Stephon Diggs. Buffalo decides to get rid of Stephon Diggs. I think he had kind of worn out his welcome. They were both tired of each other. And I think that's fine. Trade him to the Texans. I don't like what they got back, though. Even if it was just a second-round pick, I think you got to have that second-round pick for this year. I think it needs to be for this year. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I get it. Next year, it's still a second-round pick. That's fine. But I think Stephon Diggs could have commanded more than that. But maybe Buffalo was like, we just want to get rid of him. Clearly they did. They're taking a $31 million dead cap hit to get rid of him. But I thought they could have gotten more back. I thought they needed to get more back. So that's just me. And clearly they were done with each other. I mean, we had heard the rumors. We had heard the stories. If it was just one rumor, that's one thing. But it seemed like something was coming out every 2 or 3 weeks about Diggs was unhappy. And, and now the Bills fans are turning on him, saying he's a crybaby, and all of this stuff. And Diggs was a good football player. Let's not kid ourselves. Did he take a step back basically the last 5 weeks of the season? Yeah, he did. There's no question about that. He did. And in the playoffs, Did he miss a huge opportunity to give the Bills a chance to win in that playoff game against the Chiefs? Yeah, he did. But let's not act like Stephon Diggs didn't help that team, because he 100% did. He 100% did. So that's the whole thing. And somebody, well, the last 11 games. Come on, man. Don't be stupid. I know you're upset and you don't like him now. He's not on the team. You think he quit on you. And I'm not even saying he didn't quit on you. You haven't heard me say that. You'll never hear me say that, because there's some validity to whether he quit on the Bills. But it wasn't the last 11 games. The man still had 107 catches for over 11, almost 1,200 yards. That happened. That happened. Everybody said, well, he had this huge drop-off. Well, he had 108 catches the year before. So he had one less catch. Now, he had over 200 yards less receiving, but maybe that was part of the offense, and where they were getting him the football. But yeah, he had one less catch. So that one less catch. He had 107. The year before, he had 108. And he had, I think it was like 260 less yards. So, but that could be a product of where they were throwing him the football. So, and you get the people, the good riddance. Okay, be careful what you wish for. And again, I'm not saying that it wasn't time to get rid of Stephon Diggs, because I think both sides were ready to be done with each other. I'm just saying the Bills receiver room is worse today. And anybody that says that it's not, you're lying. Period. End of story. Their receiver room is worse today. So let's just stop with the nonsense. They are. Now, doesn't mean that they have to stay worse. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean they have to just be bad. They're going to do something. They're probably going to draft at least, I would say, and Bills fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say they're probably going to take at least 2 receivers in this draft. I would think they got to get at least 2 receivers in this draft. 1 early, maybe 2 early. Who knows? A lot of good receivers, but I think the Bills go out and get 2. And that's okay. Or Tyler Boyd's still out there. Maybe they look at him. So, but I think they need a big receiver. I think that's what they need. They need a big receiver. Somebody that's 6'2", 6'3", something of that range, and that's 210, something like that. I think that's what they need, because I think they got some fast guys, some short little fast guys. I say short little. I mean, I think they've got those type of receivers. So, and Deion Coleman, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. But I think they got to do something. They're not just going to stand pat on what they have. But follow me on this, people. Follow me on this theory. And somebody, Mark, I love you. I love you. Because Mark says on TikTok, people, he says, Chase Claypool. Yes. As a Steelers fan, do you know how happy that I am? I love Chase Claypool. I love him. He was able to get us Joey Porter Jr. I love Chase Claypool. He's a man's man, in my opinion. So, Diggs, here's Keith. Diggs was a whiner in Minnesota. He took that act to Buffalo. He'll take it to Houston. Keith, stop. You love Diggs until he decided he didn't love you anymore. So just stop. Okay? Just stop. Diggs was a great receiver. He's still a top 10 receiver. If you say he's not, you're lying. I know you're bitter today. I get it. But let's just be serious. Let's just be serious. So, still a top 10 receiver. So, we got to stop this. And I don't need to deny anything, because, frankly, I don't care, because he doesn't play for my team. But the facts are the facts. He could whine. Just because you whine didn't mean he wasn't producing, because he was producing. So, yes, fans are funny. Fans are funny. And that's what the thing is. People whine and they complain, but as long as they're producing, does anybody care? I don't think they do, but that's just me talking. That's just me talking. But it is what it is. It is what it is, people. Like I said, I love the move, but follow me on this theory real quick as we bring people in from YouTube. What's going on YouTube? Darren Howard says the Bills deserve what they deserve. Let's talk about the Texans roster. I mean, yeah. But here's what I think is going on in Buffalo. I think Buffalo is taking a page out of the Kansas City playbook. I think Buffalo is saying, look, we have the quarterback, okay? We don't have to go out and pay a receiver $25, $30 million a year. We're paying our quarterback this. And if the numbers keep going higher for this type of quarterback, they have to be good enough to make other receivers better. If we're going to have to pay this quarterback this kind of money, they have to be good enough to make other guys better versus us having to have the best receiver in the league. And I think that's what Buffalo is doing because they've seen Kansas City do that and win 2 Super Bowls. Now, the difference is Kansas City is really good at drafting defensive backs. They got one of the best defensive tackles. They've built their defense to be really good. And so number one, they got Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is head and shoulders better than everybody. So that's number one. But number two, that's the philosophy that the Chiefs have gone down and said, hey, man, no, we got the quarterback. We don't have to go out and pay. We expect our quarterback that's making $50+ million a year to make these other guys better so that we can spend this money on other places. And it has worked for the Chiefs. It has worked. And that's the difference. And I think Buffalo is going down that same road saying, you know what? I like it. I like it. We're going to go that route too. I think it makes sense. I don't know if it's going to work, but it does make sense. And I think other owners, if this becomes more successful, I think other owners around the National Football League are going to start saying the same thing. Hey, man, and you watch. Give it 5 years. If this type of stuff starts working, the wide receiver position and their pay, the same thing will happen to them that happened to running backs. I guarantee it. Because owners and general managers are going to start to say, well, wait a minute. Why do I have to pay this quarterback? Think about it in Dallas. Dak Prescott is not any good unless Dak has 2 good receivers, a great offensive line, a great running game, and a good tight end. Otherwise, Dak's not that good. Well, okay, I'm fine with saying that Dak needs all those things. But then I have to turn around and pay you $55 million? Well, hold on a second. Why do I got to do that? If you got to have all these things to be successful, then I shouldn't have to pay you that kind of money. Because if I have to pay you, you should be good enough to make the guy that's making the rookie or the second-year guy, you should be able to make them better. If they can play in this league, then you should be able to do your thing enough to make them better. I'm telling you right now, people, that is going to become a trend. You heard it here first. I'm usually not that guy that says, oh, man, you hurt, but you heard it here first. That will be a trend. Because you look at these teams that have these receivers that are making all this money. Name one that's won something. I mean, who? Who's done it? It worked for the Patriots for years. And it did. That was a little different with the Patriots because Tom Brady took pay cuts. But if Tom Brady were to not have taken pay cuts, it still would have worked because they weren't paying a receiver. Look, think about Randy Moss. When Randy Moss wanted a new deal in New England, they got rid of him. Mike Evans wasn't making all that kind of money. Stop it. Stop. Chris Godwin got paid after They won the Super Bowl. Y'all got to stop this. Lord have mercy. Y'all got to stop. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were not making $25 million when they won the Super Bowl. You got to stop it. Not to mention, Chris Godwin isn't a top 15 receiver in this. I don't know if he's top 20 in this league. So why would you even bring his name up? So we got to stop. I'm just saying. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be the trend. Again, I don't know if I like it, but it's what's working. And we know the NFL is a copycat league. It always has been. Always had been. My man Darren Howard says Godwin fell off a cliff, but we all know why he fell off that cliff, don't we? Godwin was good. Godwin got paid. Godwin didn't fall off a cliff. He jumped off a cliff. He just jumped off of it. Lord have mercy. Yeah, Ben, they're a little wild. They're a little wild. We love them, though. We love them. So, we love them. But I'm telling you, that's why Buffalo did what they did. They feel like they have Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is good enough to make other guys better. And we don't have to, number one, we don't have to deal with a guy who doesn't want to be here. And Diggs didn't want to be there anymore. And number two, we don't have to pay him. We don't have to pay this guy whatever he was making. I think he's making like $16 million or something. They don't have to do that. So I like it. I like it. I think it's a good plan. Hopefully it works for him. But I think that's the plan because that is exactly what the Chiefs are doing. That's exactly what they're doing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I love it. But yeah, that I just I feel good and bad about the situation. The reason I feel good is because both sides got what they wanted. Buffalo doesn't want them anymore, tired of dealing with them. Diggs didn't want to be there anymore, tired of dealing with them. So they both got to move on. Take a look at what the Texans are doing, though. Lord have mercy. The Texans, number one, don't the Texans have the best receiving core in the league now? I mean, if you take three guys collectively and just say that Tank Dell is going to come back fully healthy. So you have him, Nico Collins, and Stephon Diggs? I mean, Evan said, hell no. Well, who's better collectively? Three receivers. Who's better? Like, what receiving core is better than that? And I'll listen. But you name me three guys on a team that are better than those three. The Vikings are better. There we go with the stupidity already. The Seahawks, Lord have mercy. Who is the Vikings' third receiver? I mean, just who's their third receiver? Hawkinson's a tight end. So I said receiver. KJ Osborne doesn't play there anymore. Start again. I'm just looking. I'm trying to get it. Diggs is highly overrated. That's somebody who doesn't know football. The Steelers, stop. The Bengals, who is the Bengals' third receiver? And the Bears. Okay, so nobody's serious on TikTok. I got it. Y'all, look, I was trying to have personal growth, but y'all are being silly today. The bottom line is they got the three best receivers. And again, I was willing to listen, but nobody can come up. Tyler Boyd doesn't play for Cincinnati. Okay? Even at Christmas, he's a free agent. He's not even on the roster. What are you talking about? Name Miami's third receiver. You don't even know his name. Come on. God, people. Seahawks are not comparable. They're not comparable. Stop it. And I'm done talking about it because I'm not going to listen to nonsense anymore. TikTok is wilding out today. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. He said the Jets are better. Okay. Like I said, the Texans roster is crazy. And they got it figured out. And they got a couple of years to do it. They got a rookie that's playing outstanding football. He's on a rookie deal. They've got plenty of cap space. They got draft picks. They're doing it right. They're signing these guys back. But if you notice, like the Texans, all they did in the offseason, they made good moves, but they didn't give anybody like a 4 or 5 year deal. They didn't do anything like that. They're signing people to like 3, 2. They're being smart. And they got something going, and people want to play in Texas. They want to play for the Texans. So they got something going good down there, man. They got something going good, and Diggs only adds to that. I know people are mad, and they want Diggs is overrated. Okay. He's not any good. He can't play. Okay. Buffalo fans, you got to stop today, man. You didn't want him anymore. Just let it go. It's okay. Not a big deal. You're moving on. He's moving on. You got what you wanted. I don't know why the bitterness. It didn't work. They tried to win a Super Bowl. They went for it. It didn't work. Now you're trying a different philosophy. What's wrong with that? I like it. It just didn't work. Move on. Let's move on to a different topic here. Switching it up. We are switching it up. Again, as a reminder, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Big B Daily is live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. Appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you, guys. Whew. Okay. I was just looking at something here over on YouTube. My man Gwendo's over here lying to me, talking about the Patriots squad. I love my man Gwendo. He's funny. So, basketball Hall of Fame. Vince Carter and Chauncey Billups got selected to the Hall of Fame. I have thoughts and I have questions. So my first thought is, let's talk about Vince Carter. I think Vince Carter, for what he did, basically the last 4 years, he was just playing. He wasn't a major contributor. He was out there. Look, he could still play. And my philosophy, y'all know me, as long as you can still play, you play until nobody wants you anymore. That's my philosophy. And Vince Carter did that. He literally played until nobody wanted him anymore. And that's okay to me. That is okay. Was his career spectacular? No. Can you tell the story of basketball without him? Probably not, because I would think Vince Carter's probably the best in-game dunker of all time. So I don't think it's that big of a deal that he got in. I don't think it's that big of a question. Was Vince Carter ever the best two guard in the league, or let's call him a small forward? Was he ever the best? No. But you don't have to be the absolute best to get into the Hall of Fame. There's different levels to it. So I like it. Now, having said that, Chauncey Billups, come on, man. What are we doing? And it isn't that I think Chauncey Billups is a bad basketball player. I thought he was great. But at what point do we say the Hall of Fame has to be for the elite? I mean, at no time did anybody think that Chauncey Billups was a top 3 point guard, top 5 point guard. I mean, never. Like, when? So I don't get it. So somebody's saying T-Mac was way better than Vince Carter. Yeah, he was. T-Mac just couldn't stay healthy, and he didn't have a winner's attitude, but that's neither here nor there. He was a better player. But look, man, Billups was great, but he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, think about point guards that are in the Hall of Fame. Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton. Does his name, Tiny Archibald, his name doesn't come up with any of those. Now, again, I just finished saying there's levels to it, but there's got to be levels to getting into the Hall of Fame. I think you got to keep certain people out and say, look, you were great. These guys were the elite. And I thought that's what the Hall of Fame was, the elite. So I don't know. Again, I'm not mad that he got in. I'm not mad because shit, who am I? But at the bottom line, I just think at some point, don't we have to hold the standards a little higher? Or do we want them to be a little higher? Or are we just letting everybody in? Because I'm going to stand on this podium forever and tell you that Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer. I don't care that he's got 4 titles. I don't care. The guy's going to end his career averaging 8 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. That is not Hall of Fame worthy. Yes, he was an integral part of winning a title, to winning 4 titles. And he's a great defender. So was Ron Harper. Ron Harper won 3 titles. Integral part of the Bulls winning 3 titles. He ain't getting in the Hall of Fame. Horace Grant, he ain't getting in the Hall of Fame. Come on, man. What are we doing? Horace Grant had just as much impact winning of the Chicago Bulls winning as Draymond does to the Warriors. And I know for the young people on TikTok are going to say, you're crazy. Yeah, go back and watch. Horace Grant, they win 3 titles. The year Jordan left, they won 55 games. Horace Grant leaves and goes to Orlando. The Bulls suck. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Horace Grant had just as much to do with the Bulls winning as Draymond does to the Warriors. First of all, he's better offensively, better rebounder, physical inside, great defender. That was back in the days. They didn't give the Defensive Player of the Year award. They only gave it to 2 people. Either you were a guard or you were a center. Power forwards weren't winning it back in those days. That's not how they did it. So, that's the only difference. Draymond facilitates. So, Draymond facilitates. Okay, that's good. That's great that he does. Horace Grant is a better rebounder. And he's a better scorer. Period. End of story. So, didn't say that Draymond didn't facilitate winning. And all I'm saying is neither of them should be in the Hall of Fame. Neither of them. Because it's not the Hall of, hey, he was a good player. Neither of them. So, Draymond's a better shooter from 3. But from, I don't know, let's call it 8 to 16 feet. Have you even seen Draymond take a 16-foot jump shot? Probably not. Horace Grant used to knock him down on the regular, people. I know you're too young to understand that on TikTok. I get it. So, and you don't even know, most of you don't even know who Horace Grant is. And that's fine. But by the way, neither of them should be in the Hall of Fame, and that's the point to all of this. Neither of them should. So, that's all I'm saying. So, Chauncey Billups getting in. I'm happy for him. Should he? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. But it doesn't matter. He's getting in. So, the bottom line is, that's the bottom line. We let a lot of people, and it's not just the NBA Hall of Fame. It's all of these Hall of Fames. It's all of them. So, I know who Horace Granny is. I'm 53 years old today. Well, happy birthday. He was nowhere near the Players Green. Well, Teddy, apparently you didn't watch a lot of basketball back in those days, my man. Because to say he's nowhere near the player of green means that you didn't watch. You can think that Draymond's better. I disagree, but okay. But to say he's nowhere near the player means that you're not being genuine. I mean, so it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's all I'm saying. Green is overrated. Yeah, he is. He's not overrated to me because I don't think he's that good. I think Draymond Green plays a specific role on that team and he fits in perfectly. But put Draymond Green on the Celtics. Put Draymond Green on the Bucks or the Nuggets or the Lakers. Does he still have the same effect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that's also not his fault for being on a team that fits him perfectly. That's not Draymond's fault. So I don't fault him for that. You can't fault him for that. So you can't fault him for that. But you also don't have to just sit here and lie to yourself and to other people and say about how good Draymond Green is. Stop that. We got to stop. We got to stop. So my man Wakan says, do you think Weber, Kemp, or Lambeer will ever get in? Well, Chris Webber did get in. Sean Kemp's not going to get in, and neither is Lambeer. And here's the reason why. Kemp didn't do it long enough. So that's one thing. Kemp is not in the Hall of Fame. So Kemp is not in the Hall of Fame. And he's not going to get in. Bill Lambeer, not going to get in. They just weren't good enough. And you talk about defenders and what they do for their team. I mean, Bill Lambeer was part of the Bad Boys Pistons. He started. He was an integral part of them winning. He was a shooter, a rebounder, a defender. You needed him on that basketball team. Isn't that the same thing with Draymond Green? A defender, a facilitator. You need him on that basketball team. Same guy, right? Same guy. And nobody's even talking about Bill Lambeer being in the Hall of Fame. So, and you're right about if Billups can get in. That's what we were just talking about. I'm not sure he should be. I'm not sure he should be. So, it is what it is. I like the conversation though. But yeah, I don't know that Chauncey Billups should be in a Hall of Fame. I'll give you Vince Carter. I'll give you that. But Chauncey Billups, it's kind of like just like the guys that have been getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame lately. I mean, like, they're just letting people in. And I'm just like, okay, that's what we're doing. And if that's what we're doing, so I guess so. Then we got this guy on TikToks. He agrees with me, but them shades are trash. Can you imagine being the guy that comes on TikTok, gets on his phone, goes and watches another guy, and then tells them, hey, your shades are trash? I mean, I'm trying to have personal growth, people, but you're making it hard. You're making it hard. I'm trying. Okay. Okay. I fought it. I was going to demolish him, but I'm not going to do it. Pause. I'm 48, Vito. I'm 48 years old. You can ask my age. So I fought it. Personal growth, people. Personal growth. Let's move on. Next segment here. Again, as a reminder, 9 a.m. Central Time, people. The Big B Daily. We are on live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Remember, if you like what we're doing and you support it and want to support it, you got a number of different ways. Like, follow, subscribe, super chats on YouTube, gifts, tips on TikTok, whatever you choose to do. We appreciate all the support. Keep tapping the screen, though, on TikTok, man. Keep tapping that screen. We need to get to 5,000 likes. 5,000 likes and 30 new follows. So if you're not following, continue to follow. We appreciate it. Let's talk about these Celtics, man. Celtics, they clinched the top seed in the NBA. Do we think the Celtics are going to win it all? I'm just asking. I'm asking questions. We think they're going to win it all? Because my question is no. I don't think so. Celtics are going to choke. No, the Nuggets. No, they're going to choke. Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, I don't see it. And the only reason that I say that, what are they going to do when they play a physical team? Like, what are they going to do? Like, I mean, I don't really call Milwaukee a physical team. They got Giannis, but other than him, who else is physical? I mean, Bobby Portis, he doesn't want to play down there. Lopez, I don't know the last time I've seen Lopez take any shot outside of a three in the last year and a half. Like, if y'all saw Lopez take a shot like inside of a three, like they don't post him up. They never post him up. And he's 7'2". You know? So that's all I'm saying. But if Celtics have to play somebody physical, they're not going to have a chance, man. They're just not. My man Austin says on YouTube, he could see them representing the East, but no title for the Celtics. Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think you can win a title without having a physical presence. I don't think you can. And Al Horford, I'm sorry, people, he's not a physical presence. And we know Kristaps, Porzingis, he's not a physical presence. He's better defensively than what he's been. I'll give you that. But it's more of weak side defender. Stopping people from layups, trying to be a better rim protector. But he's not physical. So I don't know if they can win it. Gwendo brings up a great point. I'm not sure about the Celtics at the end of the game. Yeah. And then we got Jaylen Brown. We got the whole Jaylen Brown. Look, he's doing his thing in the regular season, but we know what happens in the playoffs. The game slows down. Teams lock in on you defensively. And they are going to say, Jaylen Brown, you're going to dribble this basketball with your left hand. I don't care what. You're going to dribble this damn thing with your left hand. And we have seen Jaylen Brown dribble the ball out of bounds, dribble it off his foot, fall down. We've seen all of that when Jaylen Brown has to dribble the basketball with his left hand. So until I see anything different, that's all I'm saying. Until I see it different, I'm going to make him go left and keep going left and go left and left and left. So my man Russell said, Jay been working with that left crazy. Okay. Jaylen Brown dropped 34 in the finals. Okay. They're NBA players. I mean, they get hot, and Jaylen Brown's good. It's not like he's trash. He's good. So you get hot for a game, but remember, it's a 7-game series. So does anybody have any belief in the Timberwolves? Does anybody believe that the Timberwolves can make some noise? Here's the reason why I think they can is because they can play some defense. Now, they've never done anything in the playoffs, and I still think they're soft because I think Cat is soft as a piece of cotton. And you can't win when your big guys are soft. And we know Rudy's soft. Lord have mercy. He let a man put him in a chokehold and did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Cat's going to be back. And when he gets back, I mean, he's just, I don't know. He's not an enforcer. He's not tough. He's soft. So we'll see, man. We'll see. That's my only problem. No experience. Same thing with Oklahoma City. I love the Thunder. No playoff experience. Does that matter? Do y'all think it matters? Because I think that matters. I think it matters a lot. I think having playoff experience matters. So, and the first round I think if the Thunder can get out of the first round, I think they'll end up in the finals. The toughest for them is going to be, can they get out of the first round with all them playoff jitters? Because remember, they're not going to be playing some scrub team in the West. It's good. It could be the Lakers. It could be the Warriors. Or the Suns. They're not going to be playing just some bum team in the first round of the playoffs. That's what people got to remember. It's not like the East. They're going to be playing somebody that's good. So can they do it? But if they can get by the first round and get through those jitters of never being there before, then yeah, I think they can go to the conference finals. Now, can anybody beat Denver? No. I don't think so. I don't think so. The coaching, the system, the players, I think it's too much for everybody. I really do. I know that's not fun to say. I know that's not fun to talk about, but I just think they're too much. I think they're too much. I think it's just too much. We'll see. Nuggets are good, though. And if you notice, the Nuggets did it right. The Nuggets weren't pressing at the beginning of the year to try to have the best record. They weren't panicking, thinking, oh, man, we've lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row. We got to do that. No, they didn't do that. They just said, we're just going to go out and play. We're going to get ourselves ready. We're going to try to get through this regular season as healthy as possible, and we're going to turn this thing up a notch about the last month and a half of the season, getting ready for the playoffs. And if you've noticed, that's literally what they have done. And here we go. Here we go. So, Lakers and Clippers are the only team with a chance against the Nuggets. I don't know. I'm a LeBron fan. I like LeBron, but I don't think the Lakers have a chance. I don't think they shoot it well enough. I don't think the Lakers have a chance. They got Snitch Russell out there. And when you got Snitch Russell shooting that basketball as crazy as he can shoot that basketball, he's streaky. I wouldn't trust Snitch Russell to save my life. I wouldn't. Now, he can get hot. Don't get me wrong. And he's been hot here the last 3 weeks. If he keeps that going in the playoffs, then yeah, the Lakers are a different team. But if Snitch Russell goes back to Mr. Unpredictable, the Lakers ain't winning nothing. The Lakers ain't winning nothing. So they could win the play-in game. Who, the Lakers? The Lakers will make the actual playoffs, because I don't really count the play-in game as the playoffs. The Lakers will make that. So, great point, Sideshow. Denver has a great bench. Outstanding bench. Gwendo, with these young teams, can their coaches get them through? That'll be the problem in Oklahoma City and Minnesota. Both of these. That'll be the problem. But we're going to find out. So, I think people thought that Oklahoma City was going to be better. I don't think anybody thought Minnesota was going to be as good as what they have been this year. But here's the thing about Minnesota. Minnesota's playing defense this year, where in the past, they haven't. They're playing some good defense this year. So, that's the difference. My man Bill, what's going on, Mr. Bill? He's again over here on YouTube. He says, you don't know what the Sixers have yet because Embiid has not played with the roster after all the changes at the deadline. You're 100% correct. I think Philly could be a big wild card in all of this in the East. Philly is a wild card because with Embiid, everything changes when he is there. Everything changes. So, if he can get his wind back before the playoffs, if he can get in shape, and if his knee is structurally sound, which I got to believe it is, otherwise they wouldn't put him out there. So if it is, I think they can make something happen. So, but we'll see. Can anybody outscore Phoenix? No, but we know Phoenix isn't going to guard you either. But Phoenix has been hot lately. I mean, hell, Booker's been on an absolute monster tear here lately. Booker has been doing his thing. So they don't guard a lot. That's the thing about Phoenix. They don't guard, but they're scoring. But my thing is, like last night they won, but I think what they get 129 and 109 of those points came from Beal, Durant, and Booker. You're not winning in the playoffs like that, man. You got to have more than that. You got to get 20 points from the rest of your team. That's not going to last. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So, not at all. Not at all. The Knicks, my man Ben Tatum and my man Chuck Miller. Ben's on YouTube. Chuck is on TikTok. They both said the Knicks. If the Knicks get healthy, but here's the thing. What is there, 6 games left? You got to come back and play. You can't just come back for the playoffs after you've been gone for 2 months. Uh-oh. We got some breaking news, though. Hold on. Breaking news just popped over my phone. Uh-oh. That ain't good news. Julius Randle. I mean, the timing couldn't have been better. They must have been listening to me. The Knicks' Julius Randle will undergo season-ending right shoulder surgery. I mean, it just literally popped across my screen as we were talking. You know how your phone's always listening? It was listening. Well, that'll do it for the Knicks. Because while Randle is spotty at best in the playoffs, they need him to win. They need him to win. So, yeah, that was crazy, man. You know your phone's always listening to you. It was just holding that information. All of a sudden, we bring up the Knicks, and boom. Shit. Y'all know it's always listening. So, and now, come on, Paul. What do you mean the Big B curse? I like the Knicks. I don't dislike the Knicks. I think the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. I like the Knicks. But, yeah, that's a bad one. And I think the problem is I think they were trying to get him healthy, and it only got so good, and he couldn't do what he needed to do to get out there and play, and he had to have surgery to correct it. And I think the part of it is they were trying to say, hey, man, let's not have this surgery, because if you have surgery, you're out for the year. So we might as well wait and try to rehab it as best as we possibly can and see if it gets better and gets to a threshold to where you can play. Well, I think it got to a point to where, hey, this is never going to get any better. I got to have the surgery. I got to shut it down, which is too bad. That sucks. Because this was, when the Knicks, this is one of their better years. It sucks. And the Knicks can't win in the playoffs without him. They can't. I mean, they might be able to get a series. They might. But that's about it. That's about it. Too bad, man. Too bad. No, Mr. Bill, I'm a Mets fan. Don't y'all start on me about these damn Mets either, by the way. Yeah, I'm a Mets fan, but I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not really, like I've told y'all, I don't really have teams that I root for in the NBA. I like players, and every now and then I'll root, but I don't really have a team. I am a Mets fan, though. Oh. It's so bad when your baseball team a week into the season is already out of contention. You know how bad it is that when your team, you're already out of contention a week into the season. I'm just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, man. I appreciate it, Capone. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, the Marlins are 0-7. They're worse. But at least the Marlins got some hope. The Mets don't have any hope. The Mets don't have any hope. You know, we're 0-4. And the only reason it's not worse, I think we've had 2 rainouts. I know we had at least 1 rainout. It could be worse. We're already out of it. The Yankees are 6-1. Good for the Yankees. I can't watch baseball. We're already done. Oh, disgusting. Disgusting. So, Austin says the 162 games, the only team out of it is the Oakland A's. Did y'all see how many people showed up to Oakland on opening day? That people just went to the parking lot to tailgate and they didn't go in. They didn't buy tickets to even go. They just said, you know what, we're protesting. And they tried to lie and say that they had like 11,000 people that showed up. I'm like, man, stop lying. Stop lying. There might have been 4,000 people at that game. Maybe four. Maybe four. Yeah, no, they didn't have no 20,000. Hell no. They might have had four. I mean, I've seen more people at a high school football game here in Texas that were at that damn stadium. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And you know what? I don't blame them. Y'all are going to uproot my team from me? I'm not going. I'm not supporting you. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man. We're moving on, obviously. Let's move on. One last reminder before we shut down. Again, Big B Daily, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, guys. So we covered it today. We had the Texans getting Stephon Diggs. A lot of Bills fans are still bitter, still mad. And my advice to you Bills fans, don't be mad, man. It was time for him to go. Just let him go. You don't have to kick him in the head, kick him in the ass as he's out the door. Just let him go. It was time to go. Both sides needed a change. Both sides needed a change because you kicking him out the door makes you sound bitter. And you don't need to sound bitter. I think the Bills have a plan. And if the quarterback is what he is, I think it works. So, I think it works. Easy for him to say. Who, for me? I mean, yeah, it is easy for me to say. But look at my team. I had Baby Hands Pickett as a quarterback and Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky. I had to deal with that as my quarterback for 2 years. Don't talk to me about your problems, people. Okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're talking about Diggs quit on the team. I don't want to hear it. I had Baby Hands Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph as my quarterback for 2 seasons. Not 1, 2. So don't tell me what your problems are. I don't want to hear any problem from any NFL team. I don't want to hear it. And somehow we found a way to make the playoffs this year. How? I have no idea. How? I have no idea. Don't talk to me about how Mason Rudolph isn't bad. He's so good that no other team is offering him a starting job. Don't talk to me about that. I don't want to hear it. He had a couple of good games. I'll give you that. He's average at the very best. He's average. But those were my quarterbacks. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about y'all's problems, man. Those were my problems. Who are the Steelers going to have as their quarterback this year? I hope Justin Fields wins the job. That's who I hope. I want Fields to win the job. I do. Look, I didn't like the Arthur Smith signing as offensive coordinator, but once they did it, I think Fields is the better quarterback for that system. I want Fields to win the job. And if Fields wins the job, Fields will be the quarterback for the Steelers for the next decade. And so then we don't have to worry about going and trying to find another quarterback. Russell Wilson wins the job and he doesn't play, or and he plays well. The Steelers might sign him back, but for what, 2 years? Maybe 3? Do you want Russell Wilson to be your quarterback at 38 years old? I don't. I can tell you right now, I do not. So, and Ryan, I agree with you. Arthur Smith was a great offensive coordinator. He was. But here's the thing. he called the plays and he put the offense, that was his offense in Atlanta. He was calling the plays in Atlanta. It was his offense. And so while he was the head coach, that offense was his. He was running it. And it was terrible. Now, granted, he had Desmond Ridder as his quarterback. Lord have mercy. Why they thought that Ridder was going to be the answer, I have no clue. But he was part of that decision-making. And then he didn't use the weapons that he had. So, we got a Cleveland fan in the house. My man Trent, he said it doesn't matter. Watson will own the division for many years. Deshaun Watson, just like he owned the division this year. Stop it. Stop it. So, got to stop. You got to stop that. Why are Cleveland Browns fans so bitter? Why do they hate Pittsburgh? I've never understood that. It's like the Steelers are not your rival. Or maybe we are your rival, but you're not the Steelers' rival. Like, the Steelers don't consider Cleveland to be their rival. I mean, why would we? I don't get it. You're not our rival. But last year, this guy got on here and he yelled and screamed at me for 10 minutes about the Steelers they've got the worst quarterback in the division. They're going to be the worst team for a decade in the AFC North. And I just listened. And I said, it must make you feel good as a Browns fan. You've been waiting your whole life to say that. That was number one. And then I started laughing because I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I act like an ass, but I bet this guy really did wait his whole life to say that. I bet he really did wait his entire life to be able to be in a position to say that. Only for the Steelers to make the playoffs this year and have a better showing in their playoff game than what the Browns did, how the Browns got absolutely humiliated. Absolutely humiliated. That has got to just burn Browns fans' butt more than anything. Knowing that the Steelers had to play 3 quarterbacks. We didn't find a Joe Flacco. Now, look, Cleveland had to play a lot of quarterbacks too. But we didn't find a Joe Flacco. We had Baby Hands Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitchell Trubisky back there. Oh, my God. But the thing about Browns fans, they don't like us Steeler fans. And I always feel bad for them. I had somebody else tell me, and he was arguing with me, yelling again at me. What have the Steelers done? You're going back to, you haven't won a Super Bowl in 13 years. And it's odd that a Browns fan would know the last time that their rival won a Super Bowl. And I just strictly said, hey, in your entire lifetime, what have the Browns won? Like, since you've been alive? Better yet, I'll do you one better. What have the Browns won since your father has been alive? And it doesn't matter. That's literally what he said to me. It doesn't matter. What have the Steelers done? I said, hold on a second. You just told me the last time the Steelers won a Super Bowl. I'm asking you, since your father has been alive, when was the last time the Browns won anything, have done anything? Well, we changed franchise. I go, I don't want to hear that. Just answer my question. I go, it doesn't take you 3 decades to figure out how to be good in the NFL. But apparently, if you're the Browns, it does. So, woo. Oh, well. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. There you go. The man said the Browns haven't been good since Jim Brown, and that would be correct. They had their chances in the 80s. They had those 2 chances. They blew them to get to a Super Bowl. They blew it. Garbage. What was it? 3 years later, they moved? Garbage. Garbage, garbage. It is what it is, man. Appreciate y'all joining today, man. Thank you, guys. We're going to shut this one down. Again, we love everybody. I love everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Again, If you're on TikTok and you're not following, give us a follow, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m., Big B Daily, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. We appreciate everybody being here. Come back tomorrow, man. Come back tomorrow. We're going to have another hot one on Friday. I appreciate you guys. Aloha.